And the positive role model can be another kid.
Yeah, resilience to shit not going your own way.
You've got a community that wants you to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to chat to your experience, because you do a lot of work with the rugby guys, young rugby guys. So you're part of that like youth rugby community, and not just that community, but your own community over at Escon, Muay Thai stuff as well. I'm assuming there's like youths involved in that as well, and with results as well, because we've got heaps of like adolescent powerlifters and stuff. Even though that's kind of solo sport, still the community it results in that. So you see that, you talk to them, you follow their progress and things. So I want to explore, like, do you think adolescents being a part of a fitness community like that, where they're part of something bigger than themselves, do you think that then changes their chances for success later on?
Yeah, we started.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm from an early age, I realised the word community is important. You bring people together. You can bring people who from different backgrounds. Rugby's always been a great sport for me, because in real amateur rugby you used to have a farmer or a labourer and a brain surgeon, and the farmer or the labourer was the captain of the team and the surgeon followed what he said in those amateur days. It's changed a lot now as everyone's progressed, as the game's progressed, or as society's changed. But it opened avenues for everyone just to mix in. There was no
level playing field.
Yeah, there was no elitism in the mindset, and when everyone was in that environment. And now, like most sports, soccer or football's it's an interesting one for me, because it becomes very elite very early on. Because the end game is to get kids to play for junior teams, Highland League teams, if that's still on the go, Aberdeen youth, Aberdeen, etc. So it progresses early on, and rugby as well now. Really, the guys are trying to get up to a certain level that they can compete and maybe become professional, which is professional sports very, 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 very tough and very limited. But really, what you really want to get into is an environment that people feel welcoming. They feel like they're improving and they're enjoying themselves. They want to be there. And years ago, a guy said to me, great thing about mini rugby, this is back in the day, was the kids are packing their own bag, they're packing their boots, they're packing their stuff to go training. Right now, I would imagine now, because of the woke society we live in, sorry about that, folks.
Mummy's packing the bag.
Mum or even dad's packing the bag for them. While they get a last couple of minutes on the old iPad or something. But again, there's, I do some combat. I go up to Aberdeen Combat Centre, and they've got a lot of youth kids that do that. Aberdeen Muay Thai, they've got a really good youth programme for Muay Thai. And there's a programme down in Edinburgh called the ECP, the Edinburgh Combat Project.
Okay. Oh I've seen this.
Yeah, and the guy down there is actually using combat sports to get into communities. To bring them together and say, look, come in here, do this, take your mind off this. There's better things to do. And how you've been talking about having, getting youth programs for gym, for strength conditioning, or just gym work, or just basically general fitness. For me, it's almost like get them young, keep them healthy, and you'll increase the percentage of kids who want to be better at something. And I think that's an ideal thing to do. If you create a community and people are treated well, and they see progress and they see they're wanted to be part of this community, they'll come and they'll get better.
I think aside from like obviously the physical benefits of it, like the health and the physical health benefits of it, I think more I'm interested recently in the mental side of it. You know, if you've got accountability as part of that community and you feel responsible in things, you know, and I think like as well as being part of that community, you think like having role models like coaches, like positive role models, coaches, other team members, and things, everybody involved in that situation, I think that would sway their mindset and their choices outside of that as well. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I can't imagine as many of your rugby guys going about setting fires around Aberdeen and hanging about outside shops, you know what I mean?
There has been, and I was one of them. No, I think sometimes a one-off maybe. You know, I'm not saying I didn't set fires when I was young, but yeah, I think there's something to do, and there is an issue now. You know, that there's less to do. People, there's more things. No, there's no, because the green spaces go in. You know, you just don't see kids outside the same. And I think you're right. The positive role models, and the positive role model can be another kid. Yeah, I want to be like that kid. You know, because he's good at this. You know, boxing gyms are good. Combat gyms are really good, and you know, there's a lot of solo. It's a solo sport, you know, MMA, jits.
But you've still got that community behind you.
You've got a community that wants you to do well. Yeah. You have to spar with other guys. Yeah. And, you know, everyone wants you in your community to get better and to win, if that's an important thing. Yeah. Rugby's a kind of interesting sport because it's for all sizes, you know, so, you know, and it's for all shapes and sizes, and for a quick guy to do well, a slower, bigger guy has to do well. So, you know, the team, and it is a wee bit like society, you know, guys work hard. You all get different jobs and different responsibilities, And then when you get into the professional level, you know, these guys kind of still, you know, the various shapes hang around together. You know, the big guys that are big into the gym are lifting decent numbers, you know, they're having to work together and stuff like that. But I think, you know, what you're wanting to do, and what you know, which obviously you'll come on to a bit later, is it's so positive, and you know, it's how you know, you make it affordable. You ensure the kids turn up. It doesn't matter if they don't have the right kit, because what do you need?
You don't need all the fancy gear.
No, you don't.
Need to turn up.
You need a t-shirt, a pair of shorts, and a pair of gutties, you know, and do some stuff that's pretty good, and that'll lead to other stuff. That'll lead them to potentially excel in other sports. Yeah,
because I mean, they might not be particularly into that one thing that they're doing, but it could lead on to something else. It opens doors for other stuff. Do you know what I mean? And you see that in the adult classes and things that we run as well, because that community there, it's all kind of similar people turn up. But they all got different backgrounds, they all got different interests, like some are in high rocks, some are in heavy lifting, and they all come for various reasons, but everybody cheers everybody on. Everybody wants everybody to do well. You know, like we've got that, it's kind of the iconic tyre flip now that everybody wants to be able to do. And when there's somebody, you know, getting ready for that first flip, they're so close, everybody just stops and they're cheering each other on. You get cheered on for PBs and things. People's mindset changes. You see them come in just a bit more eager, they turn up all the time, they want to push past their own limits, they get more confidence. You know, if that can be so effective for an adult, imagine what it could do for adolescents.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? And then it's not even just in the class, it's you carry it with you outside the gym, so you start making better choices outside the gym that complement that. You start more conscious about what you're eating, what you're doing, feeds into your studies and everything. You know?
Definitely. I'm just looking forward to the first bicep tear and the old tyre flip.
On the tyre flip. That's not going to happen because all these guys are strong.
Have you seen that?
I think it's important, definitely something that should be developed. I don't know, do you think schools and parents as well should be encouraging that kind of community involvement and, you know, some kind of fitness variation?
I think it's difficult for schools because I grew up. I'm 28 now, obviously, but I grew up in an environment where I really enjoyed school, and the school curriculum was, you did sport, and you were well educated, and so things seem to have changed. If I was rewriting school curriculums now, knowing what I know, I'd be going, right, PT every day, right? Some sort of movement. That could be dance, so kids like dancing, kids like whatever. So when I say PT, I mean something kind of
physical,
learning how to cook. And again, you see all these programs like, oh, this is a potato, it costs 2 pence, and I can boil it, and there's a snack, right, or whatever. But learning how to cook, learning how to do things like fill in a bloody form. This is how you do simple things like apply for jobs. So all these things should be part of the school curriculum, as well as some of the basic stuff. But I think the problem with schools is, people can sign other people off. Go, all right, my dad says I can't do PT today. And so, and I think schools now struggle to, I don't know if this is the right word, but to enforce positive change. If they go and say this is positive change, someone will say, I don't think it is. You've got that kind of society that's fighting against each other. But I do think education is really important. And what happens, Brett, is it comes down to guys like you and me to educate. And what you end up doing is you mentor. So, like obviously now I always go to the guys in the rugby stuff that I do and say, you've got to tell me when I'm not relevant. And I think I'm probably relevant because I've just got hundreds of years of experience of working with young people who want to be rugby players at different levels. And I see my job as getting a kid to the first rung of the ladder.
I think that can have a massive impact as well. So you're like saying from outside the school to us mentoring. Like when you're in the school, there's more likely to be this thing like like kids don't listen to parents, but they'll listen to a peer, and they don't tend to listen to teachers a lot of the time as well. But if they go to a club or something, you're not seen as like the same kind of authorities. They tend to listen more. Do you know what I mean? And it's generally something they're interested in. So if you go to a club, you're giving them advice. It could be the exact same advice as a teacher or a parent's giving them, but they'll listen to you giving it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of them do appreciate it because they're going, right, why are you giving up your time to do this? And sometimes, if you get into that kind of thing, you go, actually, it's not about me, or I do get something out of it. Again, you get somebody to the first rung of the ladder, and you hand them over to the next coach or mentor or whatever. Because I'm not saying I'm any better than anybody else. I just go, that kid wants to do it, and I'm going to just nudge him along the way. I got there's a young lad who's just recently from up here, from Peterhead, has recently been given a contract with Glasgow Warriors. So it's a very, very basic contract. He's 17 years old, big lad, good in the gym, loves the gym. And when he was given that, his parents phoned me and they just said, look, thanks for this because you believed in him when no one else did. Now, whether that's true or not, that's that kind of compliment. I kind of shudder about it, right? I just go, oh, but and I suppose, because I knew this kid had this ability, and I knew what he wanted to do, and I'm just going, right, you could do this better if you tried this. What's that person doing? What's that person doing that's your rival for this job? Because it's a job now. Okay, maybe if you do something slightly different that's a wee bit better, go for that. So these kind of things at that level is fine. Now mind, I've got a business in IT, so it's, this is just my kind of vocation in life, I think. And again, I see kids from different communities, whether they're from private schools, and they don't work any less hard than a kid from Peterhead. Right? It's just, and some of them are just as hungry to become a professional athlete. But what you're talking about is opening that up to get a kid from a deprived area and a kid from a less deprived into a gym to say, this is what you could do. You could do something. And is the words better in yourself the right way to approach it now, or does the woke brigade go, oh, what's wrong with the where they are just now?
Well, I'm not fussed for that, but it is, and that's what generally anybody comes to the gym for, any fitness class, or is to improve your own self, and it's
aye. We've all done it. I mean, I go to the gym now, and it's like I just go to the gym because I've always done it, and I feel, I come away from there absolutely fucked. Right, every session I'm fucked, but I go, oh, I'm better. I'm better today than I was yesterday.
That's forcing yourself through that kind of thing as well. I think that massively impacts after, like the mindset after. So I've explained this to multiple clients. Like, this is all controllable in the gym. This is controlled, deliberate stress that you're putting on yourself. You're doing a hard thing. I mean, you can push yourself to do that hard thing, even, and probably most of the time when you don't want to. It just makes the outside world, the real world, just that little bit easier to deal with. You know what I mean? You build more strength in the gym, you build more strength mentally for outside of the gym.
I agree with that. I think, we talk about mental health, and people go and for that hour and a half, or 2 hours, or however long they are, all they're thinking about is this one thing. So it just takes a lot of that stress out of it. I mean, I'm old school, so it's like, it's a just get on with it mindset. And I go, I've often thought, if I actually sat down and went, right, relax, don't do so much, think about your mental health, I'd be fucking locked up, because I think I have to move for 24 hours a day to stop the demons. If you put the light off, the demons are coming in.
Your thoughts were too long.
Exactly. So it's like a Stephen King fucking novel in my head.
But that's the thing, like you were talking about, like woke society and soft, and I have much the same views on that as well. But I think with this, we've been part of that community, dealing with, especially team sports, when you're having to deal with not just wins but losses as well. Do you know, that's gonna, and dealing with it together as well, I think that's gonna build that resilience to shit not going your own way. Do you know what I mean? Which it often won't in the real world. Do you know what I mean? And being able to deal with that better, that's gonna have a massive impact on. Well, we've got a mental health crisis, don't we? So, do you know what I mean? If we can, stem that down, that would be surely good. A bit of relief on the NHS and everybody around them.
But we've got a mental health crisis because we keep telling each other we've got a mental health crisis. Oh, I've got mental health. I'm not trying to play that down at all. No. I think sometimes you just got to go on with it. You have to just go, okay, this is what happens.
I don't think there's any hiding the fact that people could be more resilient and a bit hardier, though. Do you know?
I mean, it's quite weird. I mean, just a wee bit off topic here. My father's still alive up in Inverness. He's 91, 92 years old. And for him, my mum died a couple of years ago, but I used to go up there and they had these dosing boxes, right? Which has got all the tablets in it. So you take 2 at 7 o'clock, a different 2 at 8 o'clock, a different, hundreds of tablets. So you take this on a Monday, that on a Tuesday, that on a Wednesday, right? Now, my old boy, he's got a bit of dementia kicking in. He's got 1 tablet a day now. So what were those other ones for? He's only got 1 tablet a day now, and he's older. He must still have those symptoms. Right? What the fuck were those other ones for? Right? I'm going, this is just makey up.
Sugar pills.
It's just makey up shite, right? And again, I'm not trying to belittle doctors and the NHS and stuff like that, but how can he have had needed 14 tablets a day and he's gone down to 1? And it's a different one. I don't know. And yeah, but I think, you see these things, I think keep yourself moving as much as possible.
Yeah.
And if we can start that young and get that healthier mindset, different mindset, maybe is the right
stronger one, one that's more solutions focused rather than
exactly.
Excuses and doom and gloom and that, And I think I personally see that a lot in adults that have perhaps not had that younger, and now they've got to a stage where they're older and they're like, fuck, what do I do? I'm like, I've got a wee bit of a sore ankle, I can't come into the gym today. Like, are your arms still working? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, get in the gym. Do you know what I mean? And you do that over and over again, and then they're like, right, I've got this wee niggle going on, but I'll be there. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And and I think if you start that earlier, you can avoid that whole thing. Do you know what I mean? Just build a different mindset. So like on that note, do you think like kids that are not involved in that kind of fitness community, that thing bigger than themselves, if they're not involved in that kind of early on, do you think that have a negative impact?
Potentially, but I think people are resilient. Kids are really resilient, and you get them in a place that, do you want to be here? No. Okay, how can I? So you wouldn't give up on them right away. Oh, I've got to sore this, I've got to sore that. There you go. But you just go, well, that's kind of part of life. We're going to make it better, and we're going to make other things better. I think it is. I always talk about now in the shite that I do. It is robustness and resilience.
Yeah.
So I think if you're robust and resilient, it's going to help you in your day-to-day life. It's oh, I fell over, but it's okay because I'm robust and resilient, right? But and listen, it doesn't matter what you say. You lift weights or you run or you do something, you will recover quicker from illness.
Oh yeah, damn faster.
I mean, you look at Ben.
Yeah, not only that, you're less likely to become ill in the first place.
Absolutely.
And then faster to recover. And again, the mindset, you're just not going to give up as easily.
No, and that's that's like I'm pretty. I'm pretty fucked now, and every day I get up and I go, oh, that's a bit sore, but I think it's a case of just going, well, it's not going to get better.
Yeah.
It's going to improve, but it is what it is. I mean, you do not go to a gym and train the way that you train, or even the way that I train, or even the high rocks guy. You don't go to a gym to be. I think the word healthy is fit healthy. What is health? Because you'll be knackered, you'll be run down, you'll pick up colds quicker, but you'll get rid of them quicker.
Yeah.
But your ability to recover from other shit is definitely there, and your desire to be better. I think you might want to be better at your job because you want to be better at high rocks, or better at CrossFit, or better at rugby, or Muay Thai or something, right?
Yeah.
And you just might say, hey, I'm not going to give up. I think the health benefits of and especially now, if you can get these kids into this environment, wherever that is, however you do it, the health benefits for those individuals is massive, right? Mental health, physical health, just thoughts, and nobody's got to say, oh, don't eat a McDonald's, don't eat a processed food. It's a real world, Oh, mum, I've got to go and cook this steak or whatever. No one's saying that. People are saying that enjoy yourself,
but so you're having fun with all these people as well. It does become fun. It becomes your norm as you've got this greater community, this support network. Do you know what I mean? You're making friends. You're seeing new stuff. You're learning.
You're obviously
28. So, well, what do you think? Your upbringing, being part of fitness communities and stuff, and going to the gym and being around that kind of people, do you think that helped you?
My mother was a school cleaner, and then she cleaned houses, and so my upbringing was basically in when my mates were all going into Aberdeen. I grew up in Ellen, and it was a small place at that time. I was having to go down and clean the schools, right? And so one day, the first day I went down to clean the schools, my mum said, "All right." And she gave me this big buffer machine. I went, "Whoa, yes, woo." I'm polishing the floors until I got the white finger. And then 3 days later, she handed me a pair of marigolds, a brush, a hard brush, and a bottle of bleach. No mask, nothing. A bottle of bleach, marigolds. What's that for? Clean the toilets. Oh, huh? Now, I said to clean the school toilets. I'm on my hands and knees, scrubbing the toilets in the school, all right? And I pissed all over these toilets myself, by the way, right? So I'm scrubbing these toilets. So I had a couple of years of that, and then I went, I don't want to do that job anymore, right? In my summer holiday. I'll get a job. She got my job, and I had my mum's bike and had no gears, right? Had to cycle miles up to this farm. And on this farm, I had two jobs. One was to cut down thistles with a scythe. Another one was to clean pig shit. So every day, a clean pig shit. And I progressed from cleaning pig shit all day to cleaning pig shit, then putting pigs in the pens. And I got stronger and stronger and stronger. And I started playing rugby, and I was a working athlete. If that's the athlete bit's the right word, but because I was training all the time. So my upbringing, and my mother said to me, if you don't stick in, that's what you're going to do. And I respect anyone that has to clean toilets, to CEOs. For me, it's everyone's the same.
Yeah.
But that manual labour that I had to do when I was quite young allowed me to be strong. And I ran a lot. I can't run now, but I ran a lot. I used to run 6 miles every day. I had a route, and it was all part of my rugby. And I was pretty ripped as well. I was pretty buff, and we didn't know. I didn't know anything about that. Oh, this is how you should look. It was just that's what you did, and you ate well because my mother was a good cook. Now, society isn't like that. There is pockets in farming communities, and there is pockets. But society's not like that anymore. So we're now manufacturing it in a way. So we've always had bodybuilders, we've always had strongmen, circus strongmen, and stuff like that. And it's and now we're going, come and train this way, and it's evolving. CrossFit, High Rocks, the other stuff, whatever they call it, something new comes along all the time, which is a variation of a theme. And I think it's all pretty cool, if that's what you want to do. So because I've trained all my life, and the only time I kind of stopped training was when I got the arthritis and just got a bit tits up. That's made me robust and resilient. So you get battered and you go, that was sore. I'll see you in the morning. And I think that's a mindset. And I think, you look at pugilists, you look at fighters, they're constantly in pain. They're constantly getting hurt. And they're back the next day, and it's mindset.
Just keep going on. Consistency.
You're a strong man. Yeah, consistency is the right word. You're a strong man. You get injured all the time. You are. If you lift heavy weights, or you train the way that you do, or even I do, right? There's something sore all the time.
I was out with couldn't stand up for more than 10 minutes just last week. Just never stopped me training. Just dealt with it. Went and see somebody, worked around it.
And you get stronger, and no one's saying that it's the be all and end all, but you get stronger, and there's things now that, and there's no easy. There's no quick fix. There's no, people go, oh, he's on steroids, and that means he's cheating, and these guys are training hard. Yeah. It's just that they can train hard on day 1 and day 2. Yeah. Right? It's like this,
can train more than 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. So it's like there's no quick, easy cutting corners. You just go, right, he's a geared athlete, that's fine. I'm really looking forward to the enhanced games taking off from Muslim because it's honest. People are saying, right, I am on gear and I am going to do this.
That's what people want to see, right? People want to see ridiculous shit done by ridiculous humans.
Yeah. I mean, the enhanced games. Remember when the MMA and the UFC started? These guys were juiced up. And they were murdering each other, right? And that's what now, honestly, right? I see these guys that go into rings and they're smashing each other. I'm like, that's unbelievable. How could you do that? Take your hat off them. But at the end of the day, part of me is still baying for that horrible, ridiculous guys that are just, and I guess that's kind of society's right down to that. Who can lift the most? You look at the strongman, the Stoltmans, and it's the guys.
Sport.
Yeah, and you want to be them for a minute or two. And, same as you look at I don't know. I look at ultramarathon people and go, oh, the fuck are they doing that? Why would you want to do that? I did that 18-mile kilt walk a few weeks ago, and it was fucking terrible. And it was like, I'm on my fucking feet for 9 hours, and I'm bored.
It's not for everyone.
No. But then I was walking along there, I'm thinking, there are people who fucking run this long.
Yeah.
Every day. Fuck, that's, it impresses me.
Yeah. Well, pleasure. Thank you for coming in. I'm going to end it there before it fucking overheats again.